You are listening to Candidate Conversations on the WIDU Radio Network. I'm your host, Jay Reinstein, and today I have with me Terri Thomas, running for County Commissioner for Cumberland County, District 1.
You got it.
Welcome to Candidate Conversations, Terri.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. So maybe just take a couple minutes, tell our listeners a little bit about you, what you're doing, and why you want to run for office.
Okay, well, I'm Terri Thomas. I am a Fayetteville native, homegrown, graduated from E.E. Smith Senior High School. Left here, went to Raleigh, North Carolina to get my further education, and came back to Fayetteville to take care of my elderly father after my mom passed. I left my corporate America job in 2005 and came to Fayetteville, and I ended up working at the Vision Resource Center, where I work with blind and visually impaired people.
Yeah.
As a result of working with those visually impaired people and different community boards that I've been on here, whether it be youth, seniors, all these different things, I realized that there's a need in this community in terms of being heard.
Yeah.
So many people call the center that are not visually impaired, as I was telling you earlier, with I need housing, I need rent assistance, I need people to help me at Cape Fear Valley Hospital, this happened, that. So I'm resourcing people and calling people. I am that person that you call to say, hey, if I don't know, I'm going to find out for you.
Right.
And as I was doing this, as I mentioned before, taking that back seat sometimes doesn't get comfortable to you. You know that you can do more. And I am big on the quality of life here in Cumberland County, and that's why I'm running, to be able to help the quality of life here in quality for all people, not just some people, but for all people here in Cumberland County.
That's great. Thank you. So if you do get elected to serve on the Board of Commissioners, what do you think would be one of the bigger challenges the commission would have that's facing Cumberland County now? Is there a big challenge that you would be able to focus on?
I think one of the biggest challenges is the economic opportunity. Diversifying the tax base, like so that homeowners don't get the biggest burden of the tax break, one of those. And then the next thing is also bringing bigger industry here, like pharma, more extensive manufacturing, healthcare. I used to work at, Wyeth, which is now Pfizer, in Sanford, and it was a low wealth county.
Right.
And the growth that has been done there, it can happen. I mean, they have people that don't necessarily have college degrees, but they are in pharma. Pharma is big business. They're making decent wage. They're having good insurance. And then Central Carolina Community College, they have a biofarm program, a bioworks program there.
Yeah.
So when you get out of high school, say you're not the one that wants to go to get a 4-year degree, you can go to the bioworks program and you can get a decent job in pharmaceutical and make big money.
Right.
And that's the thing. You want to be able to bring industry here where you can make a livable wage. Right. That's the big deal. I have friends that have moved here from New York and they had to come back to take care of family. They're driving Uber and Lyft. Wow. I mean, they have college degrees. Yeah. They're driving Uber and Lyft because there's not local employment for them to get good benefits. But they have a free home because the parents left it to them. Yeah. But then property tax, $2,000-$3,000. So
right.
Uber and Lyft, and they can't even do that here. They have to go to Raleigh and Durham to make a livable wage.
And why can't they do Uber and Lyft here? It's just not enough business?
It's not enough business here to be able to sustain.
Yeah. I know Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, some of those bigger markets, I think the Uber drivers stay pretty busy. I use Uber a lot, and they're usually pretty efficient. One of the things that residents don't want to hear is about taxes. Are taxes going to increase? How do you decide? What would make you, Terri Thomas, want to raise taxes or consider raising taxes?
You know, the big thing,
commissioner.
You know what, Jay, as I've been walking the streets and listening to people, the biggest thing is I don't think people would mind so much about if it was something to raise taxes if they knew why. If they knew why. Like right now, I'm living back in my family home that I grew up in. I moved back to Fayetteville from Raleigh, and I'm in the family home. And I'm sitting there paying $2,000 a year for my property tax, but then when I try to get a home equity line, you can't get that because the house next door to me might look like a rat trap.
Got it.
Right?
Got it.
So that's, again, is not understanding why.
Yeah.
So now that we're raising our property taxes and we don't understand why, right? So for me, if there's a why behind it that I could communicate to my constituents or District 1 to say, this is why we're raising your taxes, because now we can have this or we can have that.
Yeah, so
that would make sense.
It's the important thing, and I think what you're saying is if you're going to raise taxes, explain to those residents why you're doing it and what it's going to do for them.
Exactly. You can't live in a vacuum. You know, it has to be out there so people understand it completely. Because if I don't understand it,
exactly,
right, to explain it to people, how can you understand it? I don't even understand it.
And again, we're talking to Terri Thomas, who's running for Cumberland County Commissioner seat, District 1.
Yes.
So something that comes around all the time in conversation is public safety.
Yes.
Which includes law enforcement, emergency services, community trust. What do you think the county is doing really well when it comes to public safety? And if you're sitting on that, if you're elected as county commissioner, where do you think they should be focused on? What's a priority when it comes to public safety?
What I think the county is doing really well is I'm glad to see that public safety, the 911 emergency center, that they're starting talks about that again, and that they're reaching out to the community as a whole for input. Like they have the survey that's out, asking for input, 911, what do you want to see, that type of deal. So I really love the way that the county commissioners are now getting out in the community to get that back started.
Yeah, that's good.
As county commissioner, if elected, what I want to see more of is let's stop talking about who's in charge of it. Like we have the city-county thing going with the collabo going, but the big deal is who's in charge, city, county. You know, at the end of the day, we know that the response times are not optimal.
Right.
And the residents aren't so concerned about who's in charge as to who's going to come get me. Who's there for me if I call 911, I need somebody to come get me. So I think that we need to put more so the response time over who's in charge.
Very good point.
And so that's what I would say if I was elected. Let's put that, the people first, over the policy of it.
While a lot of people think the county is in charge of, the day-to-day operations of the schools, they are not.
No.
They're a funding source. What do you think your responsibility would be if you become a county commissioner? What would be your responsibility to the students, to the teachers, and to really the workforce in Cumberland County? What would your role be?
Oh, my whole deal, Jay, is quality of life for people, not just District 1, but Cumberland County altogether. And what I do know is, yes, the county commissioners are policy driven, but you have to be people focused too. You get the funding, and it's not all about funding. Like we have the funding for the opioid, that's coming up. We're getting funding for that. We're getting funding for the homelessness. But what are we doing in terms of accountability?
That's huge.
Right? What are we doing in terms of accountability? And what are we doing in terms of rolling it out? Like, what are we going to do to make sure that the things are going to happen? Right? In terms of education, I know they got a lot of money to be able to fund education.
Right.
But my biggest thing is making sure the teachers are taken care of, because I see in Wake County and all these counties where teachers are walking out because of money. But I think the state has to actually approve the budget to get that stuff going.
Yeah.
I know that might not be necessarily county focused, but to make sure that we're taken care of.
Yeah.
Make sure that they're taken care of, that they get the needs. That I see that a lot of the school systems are merging. I don't have enough information to know why are certain schools picked over other ones.
Right.
Like, why are they closing and merging these schools? And how is that going to affect the students that live there, their parents, the ones that don't have cars? Like, I don't know enough about that, but again...
Good questions to ask.
Good questions to ask.
Yeah.
But how does that affect the quality of life of everyone here in Cumberland County? That's my big thing. Accountability, and not just throwing money at it, but how is it going to be implemented? And staying ahead of the curve. Like, not when it becomes a problem, we're going to say, okay, we got a water problem. Now how we fix it? The infrastructure piece, because that's a part of it too.
Yeah.
So how do we how do we roll it out and get ahead of the curve instead of being reactive and be more proactive? And I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it absolutely does. So you often hear citizens feel that they are disconnected from the public officials. They don't feel they have a voice. What would you do to better engage the residents of Cumberland County so they feel like they're being listened to?
Yeah, and as I've been walking the streets, and I'm going to use one person's thing, she said, if you're not willing to wash someone's feet, we don't want you. That's exactly what she said to me.
Wow.
She said, I said, wow. And she said, if you're not going to be here for us, then I can't vote for you. She said, but you seem like that person, because I was writing down everything that she said.
Right.
But people want to know that you're there and that they're heard.
Yeah.
My slogan is other people for the people, a reliable voice. And what I mean by all of that, Jay, is I'm a regular working class individual. I get the affordable health care like everybody else.
Right.
I am relatable.
Yeah.
Right? I'm relatable. I actually got to see one of a city councilman last night over when I was in Cliffdale West. And what I liked about his approach, which I loved, is he came back and gave what the city council was doing. He spoke to those members. He wrote it down. They were receptive. He said, listen, we're going to get the districts together as a whole. That's what people need. They need to know that you're transparent, you're intentional, and that you're doing something to benefit them in this community. That's what it's about.
Right.
And if you're losing sight of that, we're public servants. We will be public servants, not self-servants.
Yeah. Well said, Terri Thomas. Boy.
Yeah.
So, Terri, why should people vote for you for District 1 Cumberland County Commissioner on March 3rd during the Democratic primary? Why should they vote for you?
They should vote for me because I am collaborative. I am a people-centered, focused leadership person. I am about the quality of life here in Cumberland County. I am relatable, and I am there. I am focused, and I am there. Anybody that knows me in this community knows I am a fighter and an advocate for anything that I do. And that would be me here in Cumberland County District 1 and for Cumberland County as a whole. You got that person in me. 110%.
Great. Terri Thomas, thank you so much for joining us today
Thank
on
you, Jay.
Candidate Conversations.
Thank you so much for having me, Jay.
All right, and you've been listening to Candidate Conversations on the WIDU Radio Network. Until next time, we hope you have a great day.